Welcome to part two. So we last went over all of the different levels, the trophic levels that we've talked about, such as producers, consumers, decomposers, and everything. Now we're going to focus on the energy and how that gets transferred between each of those trophic levels. So an energy pyramid shape shows how the amount of useful energy that enters each level, which is chemical energy in the form of food, decreases as it's used by the organisms at that level. So as we look at this, you can see this energy pyramid. How does energy flow through the pyramid? Well, obviously, things eat other organisms. So the amount of energy in every level will decrease about 10% as you go up the pyramid. So we start out with 100% here in the producers. Then we have our consumers. Well, that's gone down to 10%. Then we have 1%, and then 0.1% with our tertiary consumers. Measured in kilocalories. That's a big word right there that you need to know. Or kcals often, you'll see them. This is actually the measurement of unit for the food you eat. Oftentimes you probably heard of calories. Well, calorie is actually a very, very small amount of energy. The energy that you consume is actually going to be measured in kilocalories. Kilo, remember, means 1,000. 3 zeros right there. So if we have kilocalories, that means that's, for example, like a Snickers bar is going to have roughly about 200 to 250 kilocalories in it, which means it's going to have like 25 or 250,000 calories in it. Another way you can measure energy is in joules. 1 kilocalorie equals 4,184 joules. So that's another very, very small amount of energy. So as we look at our energy here, we can see, this says get with a partner to do some math. We're just going to do this right here. If an energy pyramid starts with 1,000 joules, that's a very, very small amount of energy. Calculate the energy available for each level. So if we start out with 1,000, remember, we're losing 90%. So only 10% is going to get through there, which means we're going to go from 1,000 to 100. You can simply divide by 10 at each level. So then from here to there, we're going to go from 100 down to, divide that by 10, we now have 10. Divide 10 by 10, you now end up with 1. So you're going to see 90% of the energy at every level is lost. If we did it with 5,500, well, we would go 5,500 to 550, 55, and then down to 5. So where's all that energy going? Well, we learned at the start of the year about the law of thermodynamics. Energy cannot be destroyed or created. So it's just getting transferred. We're starting it here, and then it's getting transferred to our primary producers, then our consumers, on up. Energy, however, since it's not destroyed, it's got to go somewhere. Most of that gets lost as heat. Heat and movement. So as an animal's living, it has to give off, it's got to find its own food, it's working to reproduce, it's starting to get all of the energy that it needs in order to survive, and a lot of that gets given off as heat. Your body heat is an example of energy being lost. So all the plants are getting rid of energy, all of the consumers are getting rid of energy, and only the biomass that they have left as chemical energy gets passed on from one level to another. So the consumers at the top have much less energy to support them than those at the bottom. So this 0.1% have to survive on the 1% here. So the first level consumers, the primary consumers, they have a heck of a lot more energy to survive off of than the rest. So can you describe how energy flows through an energy pyramid? Where's the energy going? How is it getting transferred? How much actually gets passed on from one level to the next level? If you can figure that out, you should be pretty good for this unit.